no sleep and fly all day and miss flights and delayed flights and tornado warnings in Chicago hat. Okay? So anyway, how is everyone tonight? You good?
Yeah.
Crazy. I'm amazed at how many people showed up here. And I'm seeing some representing here with some colors.
Yeah.
And stripes. Yeah. And what's that? I like it. And striper shirts and all sorts of things. It's cool. I want to thank you guys for coming, okay? It's a pleasure for me to get here. My son Mikey's here with me. We went through a lot to get here, but we were determined to get here, and we're here. So, I'm going to actually play this EVH. I've got the Michael Sweetwater sitting there, and I'm going to play this because something's going on with my guitar that's a little short from traveling, and we're not trying to fix it, so I don't want it cutting in and out on us tonight. So this is, and this is way cooler guitar anyway, right? Hey, I'm one of the biggest Van Halen fans there is on the planet, and I keep knocking this mic off. Let me try to fix this again. All right. You can tell that I don't use these lavalier mics. Okay, no? How's that? No? I might need help fixing this, guys. I'll try not to touch it anymore. I know. That's why it keeps getting knocked out. Good. Am I good? You're good. Okay. There we go. I'll leave it alone. Okay. So anyway, I just wanted to give you guys I'm going to talk a little bit and then play a couple songs. I've got Robert in the phone right here, drum tracks for a couple tunes. I'm going to play some rhythm too, and I just kind of show you, the tones that I'm getting out of the ISP Michael Sweet Theta pedal, Pro DSP pedal, and I'm an interesting guy in the sense that I'm a bit of a perfectionist when it comes to so many things regarding music. I'm one of those guys where you could go sound check for 3 or 4 hours, and then I could go in and make everybody sound check all over again for 3 or 4 hours, because I'm never happy with the way it sounds. I always want to tweak and make it sound better. So I'm always trying to make it sound better. It doesn't mean that it's necessarily going to get any better. It just means that, I'm going to try. And I'm that guy. I've always been that way with tone. From the time I heard the first Boston album.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. That really inspired me more than any other guitar tone at that point in my life, because, I had never heard such a guitar sound. Just the way it was produced and layered and the sound of it. It was very inspirational. So it sent me on a quest to try to achieve the ultimate Michael Sweet tone, and try to get my own sound, good or bad, just to have my own thing. I didn't want to just plug into a Marshall or a Fender like everyone else was doing at the time, and a lot of people still do, which is fine. I didn't want to be that guy. I wanted to have my own thing. So I started going out to pawn stores and pawn shops and looking at different gear, used gear, and just trying pedals. And you guys remember, how many guitar players do we have here? I'm hoping a lot, yes. You guys remember the little muff? Electro harmonics you plugged into your guitar, and then you plugged the cable into that, and then there was a knob on it, and that was your distortion? Well, I had one of those, I had an old Standell amp, and then I upgraded to a Sears Silvertone amp. Okay, yeah, a huge upgrade, man.
Well, what about a harmony amp and just crank it up to get that, just the overdrive?
What's that? Which amp was that? I missed it.
A harmony amp.
A harmony amp.
Harmony,
Yeah.
you just crank it all the way up to give it that little, like the kinks.
Exactly. Is that what you did?
Yeah.
Did it work for you?
Well, that's all I had.
Well, you know what? But I mean, did you like it? Did you hear it and go, "Wow, this is cool"?
Well, you know what? I was doing that, and I was playing Van Halen.
Well, look, that's the beautiful thing about gear, is everyone has a different opinion of tone, and everyone wants to achieve their tone, and everyone, as they're dialing in their sound, we all have different ears. We all hear things differently. You know, a sound that I have, you might think has too much treble, or you might think it has too much bass, or I might hear your sound and think that it sucks. You know, I'm kidding. But you know what I'm saying. Everyone has a different opinion. And that's the beautiful thing about it. And with all the gear that we have at our fingertips, and then we can go online, literally, and purchase nowadays, you can achieve pretty much anything you want to achieve, good or bad, and everything in between. So back when I was 13 years old, so like 12 years ago, I started going to pawn shops and saving up my money. I was a paper boy, and I'd go do my routes, and I'd save my money, and I'd go buy gear. And eventually, fast forwarding, I stumbled upon a Lab Series head, okay? And I thought they were cool because Ronnie Montrose played through Lab Series amps, and B.B. King did as well. And I saw it sitting there, and I was very curious about it. It had a parametric knob on it, parametric EQ. And that affected the tone of the distortion. It was actually a pre-distortion knob. So it affected it. It didn't affect the post sound of the amp. It affected the distortion itself. So you could manipulate the distortion with that knob. It was really cool. You could get some funky tones. You could get real fuzzy tones. You could get really notched out tight tones. So I bought it. I took it home, plugged into it. I liked it, but it was a solid state amp. It didn't have that tube that you want to have if you're in a hard rock / metal band. So what I did is, back at that time, I decided to preamp my Marshall with the Lab Series. And you're talking back in the 70s, not a lot of guys were doing that, at least guys that I knew. And I preamped. Everyone thought I was nuts. I remember going to a music store, we hear music, and they said, "You can't do that." They told me that. They said, "What are you doing? You can't do that. That's crazy." And I said, "What do you mean? It sounds great. Of course I can do it." So that's how I achieved the first Michael Sweet striker tone. And I set that knob, that parametric EQ, at around 800, 850, somewhere in there. And it gave my Marshall an overdriven kick that no one else had. And the only thing I could compare it to, it was like a Michael Schenker kind of tone. It gave it that half-cocked wah tone, notched it out. Because that's what a wah is doing anyway. It's playing with frequencies. And I was sold. And we used to play Gazaris with that setup, and we would play with Rat. And Robin Crosby would come up to me every time we played and say, "Man, what are you using? How are you getting that sound?" And I used to hide the Lab Series behind the Marshall. The old hiding trick. Don't unveil your sound. Now, honestly, I talk about my tone all the time, and I tell everybody what I use and how I get it and achieve it. It doesn't matter. But back then, it was very secretive. And I hit the Lab Series, and I said, "Dude, it's just the way I play. I plug into the Marshall, as long as I can." And Robin would go, "Wow, dude, that's crazy, And it was my own sound, and I was really proud of it. And fast forward, I went from the Lab Series. I got tired of lugging the Lab Series, and I stumbled upon in the music store a Furman PQ3, parametric single space 3-band EQ. And I bought one of those. And I remember trying it out at the music store and pegging the input all the way over, and the red light just stayed on, So you're overdriving the input, Where's Buck? You know what I'm talking about, right? So I was overdriving the input, but that was part of the sound. And I preamped that into the front of a Marshall, and it was an even cooler sound. And that's the sound you hear, again, love it or hate it. Have any of you heard the Soldiers Under Command album? Yeah. That's the sound. It's a Furman PQ3 into a Mesa Boogie Mark II-C. All right? And it was very distinct in our own thing. And then, as time progressed, I had issues with my PQ3s, and now you can't find them. They're very hard to find. The reissues don't sound anything like the originals. And I wound up eventually morphing into a Tech 21 Paradriver. So that's what I was using for quite a while. And then, long story short, are you guys okay with this? Am I boring you? I'm just giving you a quick history. Okay. Just giving you a gear history here so you know what I'm all about. So after the Paradriver, I started dabbling with, digital multi-effect, modeling pedals. And we all know who they are. There's many of them. And they're cool for what they are and for what they do. Sometimes that's all we can afford. If it's a modeling amp for your bedroom or whatever, and it sounds great and it works great under those circumstances, I think it's fantastic. But for me, in a live situation, in a large venue or whatnot, everything that I tried, there was always something about it that didn't work. It would work in this regard, going direct, but then feeding an amp, it sounded terrible. It would fart out, the headroom was limited, and it didn't have the punch and whatnot. So I've tried everything. I've owned everything. I still own quite a few things that sit in my kitty poo room, and they collect kitty litter dust, basically. I'm not being mean, I'm just telling you the truth. And I go in sometime and kind of go and blow it off. I should probably cover it all up, but I retired all that stuff. And not too long ago, I was very fortunate and blessed enough to hook up with Buck, who runs and owns ISP, Buck Waller, and Shelley, Shell, as we call her, his wife. And I tried out a Theta pedal, small little original Theta pedal, which sounded really great and blew my mind, but I still wanted more capability traveling. So when he released the Theta Pro, the red version, I was able to get one. They were gracious enough to send me one, and I played through it, and I flipped out over how everything sounded. It sounded analog to me. I didn't hear that digital. That's a problem I have. A lot of or most, if not all, the digital effects units have this certain type of digital processing that's very hard to get rid of, if not impossible. And it's usually on the high end. It's this fizzy, metallic, digital sound. And a lot of people may not even hear it. Okay, but I hone in on that stuff. And that's the problem you have with a lot of DI sounds as well, is you're getting too much of the frequency range. You're getting too much of the lows, and you're getting too much of the highs. And guitar isn't made for that. Guitar isn't made to put out frequencies at 18 and 20K, or frequencies at 40 hertz or 60 hertz. It's too low. That's bass territory. The highs is hi-fi pro audio stuff. So it's a whole different thing. So I started EQing out those frequencies, and then I discovered, okay, the direct sounds much better now. Well, Buck put this box together for me, and it has extra EQ circuits in it, and I'm able to, on the pre-stage distortion, on the post-stage distortion, and then at the very end of the DI stereo outs and the amp outs, the main outs that feed the amps, I'm able to EQ everything separately. And it's really killer, man. And you can do that with some of the other units. They got all the EQ units, but these EQs sound fantastic. They're warm, they're thick. They have headroom. How many times have you guys had an EQ on your guitar, you start to turn it up, and it just starts to fart out and sound fuzzy? Yep. You know what I mean? With these, you turn them up, and the low end increases, but it remains tight and focused. So that's a usable EQ. You don't want an EQ if you can't use it. What's the point of it? Or you turn up high end, and it hurts, and it's just an unpleasant high end. I have a lot of EQs. I collect pedals, and I have massive amounts of pedals at my house, and most of them are EQs. I have a lot of EQs. So I'm an EQ freak, all right? And I've played around a lot with EQs over the years in Striper with Boston. Tom Scholes is an EQ freak too. And, they got the pre-EQ and the post-EQs and whatnot. And it makes a big difference, and that is the big difference about this box. that I love. This box sounds analog, everything is usable, everything works. The effects are gorgeous, and it's just that striper tone right in a box. You can throw it in a briefcase, it weighs very little. And the coolest thing about it is it's yellow and black. It's not black, it's not...
No pun intended.
It's not green, it's yellow and black there, it's cool. But anyway, so that's pretty much it. That's the evolution of the striper tone, very condensed, of course. And, you know, it's the way it is, very inspiring. The better the tone is to your ears and your fingers, the more you're going to want to play, the more you're going to want to create. You know, and the more you're going to want to stand in front of the mirror and just... Oh man, yeah, but it's a godsend for me. No pun intended at all. It really is a godsend, and it has made my life so much easier. It's consistent. I take it out and I put it up. My sound man takes the DIs out, stereo, throws the fader up. He never EQs my sound, ever. If there's ever an EQ problem, like he says, that's a little bright, I do it from here. I'll take a little bit of that out. But I'm flat at the console, completely flat. Just pan and the fader's up. And he always says, great, next. You know, and then he goes to Oz and I didn't even say anything. Wow.
3 or 4 hours later.
You guys are looking for trouble.
Yeah.
All right. Basically, what I'm going to do is I got a couple drum programs on here from Easy Drummer. That's what I've been using lately to write songs. I went a little crazy on the kick drum on some of these songs. Okay, you're going to notice that. It's like, and but anyway, I'm going to play a rhythm over those songs. There are 2 songs from the solo album, One-Sided War, and you're going to get to hear the tone of this, my main tone, with, you know, a set of drums, essentially, and give you an idea. Wow, it's so loud. Why does rock have to be so loud, you know? Oh, too loud. All right. All right, here we go. Let's see how this works. And see, you know what I want to do? I'm going to EQ it a little bit differently. Let's see here. All right. Where you at, buddy? Here you are, man. Yeah, come right here. I'll shut the delay off too. I mean, I don't have it real loud. It's pretty low. But
It's about as loud as my wife will let me get away with.
and I've got mine lets me get away with a little louder volume. Well, I've got some highs rolled off, you know, so that's just I don't like my amps real bright. You know, I can put all that back and you can hear it, but it's just if you're hearing it, in terms of the top end rolled off, I'm rolling off top. So. But yeah, they're killer, man. I mean, what you're hearing over here, what's amazing is it's that little tiny. It's just crazy, man. Really cool.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. It's a fast-paced song. You know, it's a song from my solo album as well. It's called Bizarre. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. Yeah. Give it a shot. See how it goes. Like songs before I came. So, clean sound.
Figure twin.
Well, I mean, you know, it's that kind of a thing. That's what I use for my clean sound. And again, that's for my preference. You know, someone, you can go in here and EQ it and set it totally different. To sound more like a Roland jazz chorus kind of sound, or Fender sound, or whatever clean you prefer. But I tend to like that chorused, real glossy kind of a clean sound for what we do. You know, like opening up All for One and parts like that. You know, it's cool. Right? Is that it? That's it. Might sound a little bit better off the clean channel. Just I told you I didn't know it. You can hear that it's that striper tone, you know? I miss having Robert up here playing. Man, makes all the difference in the world. It really does. Any other questions, you guys? Yes, sir, right here.
Could you play a little bit of All for One?
Like just the main riff?
Clean intro and
Well, guys, hey, we are going to wrap up this portion of the evening, and I am going to go to the little boys' room and meet you guys out in front and sign some things for you. Okay, sound good?
Yeah.